Welcome to the Thr3 Project. Not just a number.
Are you going to get hit 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, it will be easy. Okay, so from...
Soet is die reuk van mening. Soet is die tou wat sny oor die pols. Is dit vaarwel of 'n verwelkoming? In die swart sig. In die soet lig. Peloton.
In April 2015, Riot Control had to say goodbye to their guitarist and one of the founding members, Steven, when he passed away in a tragic motorcycle accident. The project took another major setback when the drummer Adam, also a founding member of the band, decided to step away. Luckily, the guitarist and drummer from the Couch Ninjas, Graham and Monkie, stood in, and Riot Control could continue.
Hey, are you happy, Monkie?
Yeah. I don't need a monitor, I just like to sound like my own voice.
Okay, what's up guys? We're Riot Control. Welcome to Mark's evening that he's planned tonight. You should go check the art out upstairs, it's actually quite amazing.
I bought some.
By Mark and Leon Estate.
Yep. Yeah, give it up for Mark. Come on everybody, give it up for applause, come on! It's a live music venue, not a library. Make some fucking noise. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we're gonna start the song. The song's called Walking Away.
Hi, I'm Megan and I'm the vocalist for Riot Control. If I had to describe my vocal style used for Riot Control, I'd say it's kind of evanescence. A lot of people say it's very evanescence-y. There's some growls in there. It's not all just operatic. Is that the word? The members and the building of Riot Control, wow, I think there's history to any band. Myself and Steve started Riot Control. Steve was on guitars, and myself and Steve had actually been friends since we were teenagers. We started our first band, Mind a Detail, together, and Steve was a very enthusiastic person. Steve's the kind of guy who you do one band practice and he wants to go do a show, he wants to go do a gig, and you have to tell him, Steve, no, calm down, we need to do practice first, we need to master this, we need to practice like at least 10 more. No, let's go do shows. So yeah, Steve, he was a force to be reckoned with. You really had to, but he drove us. He pushed us all. As much as we had to hold him back, he pushed us. So Steve actually called me up and said, let's start another band together. And we started auditioning drummers and bassists. And we ended up on Adam Combrink on drums and Mark Sean Hopkins on bass. And the four of us together were just, I think band practice was so much fun. Gigs were fun, everything was fun. It was really, I don't even know how to describe it. And then unfortunately one night Steve was in a motorbike accident, and I'll never forget that morning when I got the phone call. It was so surreal. I was actually still sleeping, and my boyfriend answered the phone and came to tell me, like, Steve passed away last night. And I was half asleep, and I think I went, okay, and went back to sleep because it just, didn't sound real. And when I woke up, I don't know how long later, and it dawned on me, it just, wow, you can't even describe it. There was a song that Steve wrote, it's called Empty Inside, and the funniest and the saddest thing about that song is when we were still in Minor Detail, when we were teenagers, Steve would try to write songs and lyrics for the band, and we have to admit he was terrible at it. They were horrible songs. And eventually one day we as a band told him, like, Steve, we appreciate your efforts, and we love that you're trying, but please stop writing lyrics and songs for the band because they're terrible. Stick to guitars, they're great at that. And a week later, Steve came to me and he pulled me aside and he said, Meegz, I know that you guys asked me not to write songs anymore, but I wrote this one and I really want you to take a look at it. And he showed it to me, and it really was the most beautiful song. And Minor Detail, we were kids, we didn't do very much, but when we started Riot Control years later, and we picked that song back up and we redid it, and Mark and Adam just brought so much life to that song. And the funniest thing is, sad, after Steve passed away, he originally wrote that song, I think it was actually for his grandfather. And, we never knew we'd be singing that song to him. And after Steve passed away and we took a break and we were auditioning Monkie for guitars quite a while later, and Monkie was at his first audition, and we were playing recordings of our songs to him to have a listen, and they started playing Empty Inside, and it was the first time I think any of us had listened to that song since Steve passed away, and I just started bawling my eyes out. I couldn't control it. It was heartbreaking to hear the song that he'd written, but now we were actually, listening to it and thinking of him. And I think the words to it are, my hands are tied and I can't fly. I want to reach for the sky, to feel your soul one more time. My hands are tied and I just can't fly. And it just made all of us think of him, and I'm crying my eyes out, and Monkey's had his first audition and he's like, stop the song. And I said, just let it play, we have to get through it. I want to listen to it. And it took a few practices before I could sing that song the whole way through again without bawling my eyes out, but we eventually got there. And then Adam had to leave the band for personal reasons, and Monkie decided he was going to move over to drums, and he brought Graham through to try out for guitars. And Graham's style is it's so unique. He has these weird timings to everything that just you struggle to write along to, but it challenges you, and I love that it challenged my writing to meet his weird time signatures. And it made amazing songs. Like when all of us eventually managed to, you know, collaborate together and push ourselves to write these songs along with him, it was fantastic. And you know, Mark on bass just added, Mark, how do I describe you? Mark has this unique sound on bass, and you know, after the band broke up and we were trying out new people, I think the whole reason it didn't work out was because I couldn't stand any other person's bass lines over Mark's. Like, I was like, it sounds wrong. It's not Mark, it's not the same. I want Mark. So, yeah. High points of the journey, sure, there's so many. I remember us doing the Imlith Art Festival and us all camping together, and we knew, well, I even knew before we left home to go to this festival that we all probably going to be hungover the next morning, and we were opening the show. I think we were playing at like 10. So I went shopping and bought like a packet full of Red Bulls for the whole band. And like basically hangover kits for everyone. And you know, we all said we're going to bed early, we're not doing an all-nighter, but it's the first night of the festival, so everyone went crazy, no one slept. And the next morning we all felt so rough, and I went to my car and I bring out all the Red Bulls, and you have to do this like delicate balance of like a Red Bull and another shot for hair of the dog to like, in the moment you sort of feel okay, you're like, okay, no more, we're good, we're gonna do our show. Yeah, and we all had so much fun. I think that was the longest time we spent together as a band was camping that weekend. It was so much fun. For me, there's so many memories of that weekend. If I had to describe my experience with Riot Control in one word, I'd say it was an adventure. There's no other way to say it, you know, with the member changes, with things that happen, unfortunate events, with shows, with the inevitable arguments, with the funny times. Like, we joke around in band practice so much. Like, sometimes we take jokes too far and someone would get upset, but still, you know, we'd laugh. Definitely I'd say it was an adventure. Well, I don't know what else to say. I think if I had the chance, I would definitely put that band back together. Monkie eventually moved overseas, so we didn't have a drummer anymore. We all just, our lives took us in different directions, I guess. Yeah, if we had the chance, I would definitely, I think we were finally starting to actually get somewhere. I was in the process of submitting us to play at Opikopi. We really had big things coming. We had big shows lined up, and yeah, life takes you to unexpected places. But yeah, that's Riot Control in a nutshell.
I'm having a fucking good time. Are you having a good time? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, let's have a drink.
We've got some free t-shirts to give away, sponsored by Punt Hair Design. Did you throw two in one shot?
Punt Hair Design. Fuck yeah.
Okay, everybody jump. Whoa. Sorry, that was the worst throw ever.
Weak sauce. Alright, so we're gonna play another song since we're terrible at entertaining people.
I was on the stand ready.
So a midget walks into a bar. Spotlight.
In 2019, Graham and Mark form a progressive instrumental art project called the Thr3 Project. Their style often relying on absurd time signatures and several atmospheric layers. They introduce both mid-range distorted tones and melodic clean passages, which naturally is highly influenced by ambient music. Monkie, part owner of the studio where they practice, temporarily joins the project before immigrating to chase his dreams abroad. He has an immense drum influence on their early sound.
And then in the end bit when
What's up, guys? Monkie. I used to play drums for the Thr3 Project. Let me give you a little bit of history. I got introduced to Mark by jamming in Riot Control. And how I came to jam in Riot Control was Adam, Stewart, and I, we were partners in the workshop studios. And Adam was the drummer for Riot Control. Now, sadly, when their guitarist passed away, I offered to jump in on guitar, and that's how I joined Riot Control. Then, after some time, Adam decided to leave the band, so I opted to fill the position on drums, being more comfortable in that position. And I asked Graham, who was my guitarist in the Couch Ninjas, to come and join us in Riot Control to, play some heavier stuff than what we were playing in the Couch Ninjas. And that's how Riot Control came to be. And in Riot Control, Graham, Mark, and myself, obviously we were jamming together and we had great chemistry as musicians. And Mark and Graham had actually started jamming on the side, just playing some freestyle stuff and just, doing their own thing. And one day they were jamming at rehearsal when I had arrived, and I heard what they were playing and I was really intrigued, and I asked, let me put some drums to this. And they said, yeah, all right, cool. And I jammed to it. That's how the Thr3 Project was born. Now, I'm very grateful that I got to be a part of it in the beginning. And I feel like I brought a little bit heavier of an element, to the style that Thr3 Project was playing, because my drum style and influences are very hard rock, metal, with a little bit of a hip hop tinge in there. And I definitely brought that to the table to what Graham and Mark were doing. I think I actually pushed them quite a bit into the heavier side than what they initially were jamming when I heard the riffs they were playing. And, Graham and I had jammed some mellow stuff in the Couch Ninjas, and we jammed a little bit heavier stuff in Riot Control, and we kind of brought elements of both of those influences, I think, to the Thr3 Project. And Mark had jammed in other projects as well, various ranges from like punk rock to rock, hard rock, and stuff like that. And he definitely brought those elements to the Thr3 Project. And I think collectively between the three of us, that's kind of how it became such a diverse style of music. And, Mark, being the amazing artist that he is, wanted to do, visual incorporation with the music and stuff like that, to have it be, not just an instrumental band playing on stage, really just a show in itself with kind of a music background, like an artistic expression with a music background as kind of a thing. It was a great conceptual idea. And I've followed the Thr3 Project since I've departed and, moved to China. And it's great to see what they've done. They've gone through a lot of lineup changes. They've had several different drummers and musicians come and go, but Graham and Mark being a constant is great, and I think really keeps the style of the original idea alive. Now I've got my own studio here in China. I'm still jamming and doing my own thing, but I'm definitely playing the heavier stuff. But I'm really, really grateful I got to be a part of the Thr3 Project. I miss jamming with Riot Control. I miss jamming with the Couch Ninjas. But, I hope that when I come back to visit in South Africa that I can catch a Thr3 Project show live and maybe even jump on the drums for a track or two, I want to, just shout out to Mark, for putting this whole thing together and being the phenomenal artist that he is and doing what he does. And, I hope that he keeps on writing, keeps on drawing, keeps on doing the digital stuff that he's doing. And, stay tuned, watch this space. The Thr3 Project is definitely going places and is definitely doing things.
Having ample experience and a thorough understanding what it takes to get a project going, the early members placed great emphasis on getting the building blocks in place. The three main ingredients being the sound, visuals, and friendship. After choosing the name, multiple spellings and variations were considered, and after going back and forth, the brand was born. Working closely with M2H Studios, the concept of 3 volume bars followed by a P became the main element. The members decided to explore a progressive instrumental approach, and Graham brought phenomenal ideas for riffs and songs to the table. Since the sound and friendship were set in stone, the band shifted their attention to the visuals. The band decided to write the name in Leetspeak. Visually, taking the principle of proximity and shape into consideration, only the last 2 E characters were replaced with 3s. This decision was purely based on guidance from industry-leading designers. Merchandise, in the form of t-shirts, hoodies, beer jugs, coasters, stickers, whiskey, wine and shooter glasses, just to name a few, were funded from the members' own pockets. In the first year, the band invested a lot of money and effort in refining the brand. Photography is painting with light. The blurs, the spots, those are errors. But the errors are part of it, they give it poetry and turn it into painting. The band had the privilege to partner with MDB Photography Studio at a very early stage. Macaela Becker, camera in hand, always ready to capture every moment. This gave the project the final visual element they needed.
Hi, I am Macaela Dawn Becker from MDB Photography and Design Studios, and I've been lucky enough to be a part of the Thr3 Project's journey since the very beginning. They are the reason I've gotten into live event photography. They were the first ever band I got to photograph live, and I must say it's been a whole journey since then. I have truly found the market that I know I'm supposed to be in, and I can honestly say thanks to the Thr3 Project for that. So when I started out with the Thr3 Project, this was back when Monkie was their drummer, and when they had begun, they had made the decision to never ever gig live. So all of the photos I started off taking were more creative and in studio, where they were busy practicing and doing recordings. Soon after, they decided why not go to a jam night. I think it was like an open mic night at Rumours Lounge, and the rest of it's history. Since then, they were just like, no, we need to take our music out there. And I'm so grateful that they have, because them as a live act, they're truly incredible. Not only are you mesmerized with the music that they make, but they also bring in visual aspects to their performances, which is extraordinary. I've been lucky enough to witness their live artist that they've had on stage, along with their TOMM3 T character, which has honestly brought me quite a few fantastic photography opportunities with that. So when it comes to my own personal experience with the Thr3 Project, I can honestly say that it is one I won't soon forget. They have brought me out of my shell and have taught me so many things that I can do with my photography that I never imagined before. And if I had to describe my experience with the Thr3 Project in one word, it would be unforgettable. And I'd just like to thank every one of the Thr3 Project for allowing me to photograph them in a form where they are truly happy, and it's sort of indescribable to see someone in that state, because you're sort of vulnerable, because once you're up there, all eyes are on you. There's nothing else to it. And for allowing me to photograph that and help them capture those memories, I'll be forever grateful.
Mina Ngitanda at the Thr3 Project.
I've worked with many bands, right? Well, at this point. I've worked with a lot of bands. Some are impossible to fucking work with. Others less so. With the Thr3 Project, I can build entire events around these guys. They're reliable, and not just that, they are fucking good. As soon as you see these guys on stage, it's something else. I was taken aback the first time I fucking saw them. They got recommended to me through State Dependency. I had no idea what the fuck they were. I had no idea. But fuck me, when I saw them on stage, that's the future of South African music. That's it. The energy that they can fucking capture. Fuck. It's you cannot describe it unless you're in there. Unless you're part of the crowd, witnessing them fucking playing. These are the guys that I will always be fucking happy. In fact, I will host an event around them. It's something else. It's something else.
After Monkie's farewell, Tristan is the first drummer to take the project to stage.
fuck, they helped me out. I'm not gonna name names now, but I had 3 bands booked, and the one pulled out. And again, I can name names, but I can name and shame. So I was down to 2 bands. It was Thr3 Proj3Ct and Couch Ninjas, I think. And yet they pulled out something from out of their hat, doing a jazz improv night at Rumours, of all fucking places. And not just that they fucking pulled out of their hat, they pulled it off. It was the best fucking shows. Just the best performances I have seen.
Yeah, 3 Projects, what a band. When I hear their music, I see a lot of imagery in my mind. Their music sounds like, I told Mark, it sounds like a soundtrack to a movie or something like that. And yeah, it's a really special band. And whenever they played, I always sort of heard parts that I would do on guitar. So then one day I said to Mark, man, I'd love to jam with you guys. And then at one of the gigs, we didn't rehearse or anything, you know, we just sort of, while they were playing, you know, Mark said, yeah, bring your guitar and let's do something. So I was playing with the Couch Ninjas, and we were playing on the same night. So yeah, so I had my gear there. Anyway, what a vibe, really, really cool. And it's so awesome that they're having a documentary made of them. It's bloody awesome. All right, well, see you at the gig.
I love the Thr3 Proj3Ct.
So yeah, man, Saturday, 2nd of March, we might have something special.
Hell yeah, you guys can jam. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
of this video, and when I perform for the Thr3 project, I go by the persona of Defy. That's Defeye. That's a graffiti tag I used to do when I was in my 20s, basically defying the system. And then the EYE, the I thing, is about seeing things as they really are, opening the third eye. I don't really have an original art style. When I do art with the Thr3 project, I would say I borrow very heavily from the abstract impressionist and street artist Jean-Michel Basquiat from the 80s. Someone that really has inspired me in art, has made me realize that things don't have to always be representational. You know, you can play with symbols and words and pull things out of your subconscious and represent them on a canvas. So I've always been into art, but I will say that, yeah, the work of Basquiat is something that really inspired me, especially with painting, to explore. As a whole, I would say that the Thr3 project is a band that is pushing the boundaries of indie rock, if I can call it that. I'm not great with genres, not just in the local scene, but in the international scene, because what they're doing is they're telling one long narrative through 3 instruments rather than telling short stories through songs. I think they're great. Well, I know the Thr3 project because the guitarist that plays for my band, the Couch Ninjas, also plays with the Thr3 project. And when I found out that they had this art component for their shows, I believe I put my hand up because it's something that I really wanted to do. And the whole process of getting involved was very natural. You know, I came up with this idea of wearing, using the overalls or painting the overalls as an actual art piece while I was doing the art. So the outfit itself is an art piece, and then I would be doing art in the outfit, and then I would perform as this performance artist. Yeah, the whole process was very natural. What I did was I went to a lot of thrift shops in my area, bought a lot of old art or discarded art, and I painted over it. So set up like a mini studio on stage, you know, and then I did the art while the music was playing, which, yeah, it felt great. It actually felt like I was Basquiat for that time. I also like the idea, thinking about it later, that I'm wearing these workman's overalls, but I'm doing like a very bourgeois thing. Like, you know, high art is a very bourgeois kind of space. And especially the works of Basquiat, they're now selling for tens of millions of dollars. So it's like this kind of juxtaposition of working class and bourgeois, you know. It's total freedom, and I call it the best seat in the house. It's like you're being part of the audience, but you're contributing to the show, and you're being creative on stage. And the thing that really resonated for me on the first performance was hearing the saxophone, because in the research I was doing on Basquiat, like a lot of the documentaries did feature a saxophone playing, so that was really powerful for me. I would probably say 4. A guitarist, a bassist, and me, the artist. But yeah, I just would like to add as like a footnote for, you know, the aspect of what I do. I would ideally like to do it with Tristan as a drummer, just because I feel like the whole saxophone element is really crucial to what I'm doing. I hope that in other capacities that the Thr3 project continues to do art as a component to their performance, because I do feel it's really crucial. I would like to just say a huge thank you to the Thr3 project for giving me the opportunity to perform with them. I kind of feel like I'm becoming this whole other persona. It's like I'm channeling the energy of Basquiat when I'm on stage performing as this persona. And if there are any keeled Basquiat fans that want to see the four of us performing internationally, please DM me. Okay, peace out. Ask you the questions and you just answer them. Okay. So why did you decide to add an art element to the 3 project performances?
Cool. When me and Graham started the project, we decided we're going to make an art project, and visuals obviously plays a big role in it. So the absence of a vocalist, we decided to add some art and keep it entertaining.
Okay, that's awesome. And what does art mean to you?
Art to me is freedom. I can say what I want. I don't have any boundaries. I can actually go ahead and create what I want. I mean, there's nobody can tell me what is right or wrong. I've got my own freedom.
Yeah, I feel that though. And so what would you say your goals are for the 3 project going forward?
Well, my goal is to keep building a following, and obviously to get to people that doesn't have the sheep mentality and not following recipes within music and criticize when you don't follow a certain recipe, where we can push the boundaries as far as we can.
Got you, okay. And what kind of art do you like?
I personally like a mix of art. I'm really big into art that's got meaning. I'm not big in pictures. I like something that actually, when I look at it, it challenges me, and then I can feel something. Art and feeling. That's what I prefer.
My name is Nikita Jones and I love the 3 Project.
How's it? My name is Ryan. I'm a drummer for Arm to This Arm. I think we're melodic. There's different influences in our band, and we've had the honor to play with the 3 Project, Mark Sean Hopkins band, and it's a band that I really enjoy playing with. They've got a lekker progressive sound. It's something really unique. The bass is like really leading the sound of the band, which I really enjoy. And yeah, we've done a gig with them. We're going to do a few more and hopefully lots more in the future. And it's so lucky just to jam with them. Mark as well, the front man, if I can say that. Such a cool oak, and you know, if we can collaborate with them, it's always fun. It's always a good turnout, and just a good band to jam with.
At the end of 2019, due to work, Tris was commuting more than 8 hours a week from the Free State to Johannesburg to make practice, not even considering playing shows. At the time, Mark was also spending a lot of time in Cape Town for work. Although the project made it to the final of the Marshall Battle of the Bands, very little progress was made in this time. To bring some relief to Tristan, the project decided at the beginning of 2020 to bring in a different drummer. The opportunity for Tris to collaborate on keyboard and saxophone remained. Sadly, Tris permanently moved, and the project didn't get to collaborate with him again until 2022. Losing a phenomenal musician, the project set out to find a new drummer with a certain edge. Dillon, a mind-blowing drummer who brought a digital quality through his electric kit, caught the attention of the project. This allowed the project to introduce digital effects to their progressive sound. Along with his technical drumming, this gave them a new edge. Refining their sound while growing their repertoire, the Thr3 Project had the privilege to play some great shows. Around 2020, Mark, the bassist, experienced some personal setbacks. Multiple friends within the time span of a year tragically passed away. These close friends had or were actively having a direct influence on his music, most being ex-bandmates. To make the situation worse, the world went into lockdown due to COVID-19, crippling the hospitality and music industry. Above and beyond dealing with the grief, the straw that broke the camel's back was when Mark received the news that an immediate family member was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. After playing a Jack Daniels-sponsored event with the legendary Riddle Break, Mark announced that he is embarking on a hiatus to focus on his family and career. Mark didn't attend practice or shows for 6 months. During Mark's absence, Graham and Dillon did some great work, investing time in early recordings. They would still get together on a regular basis. Mark, on the other hand, in typical inverted fashion, isolated himself, investing his creative energy into illustrations and animation, refining the brand further. From the ashes, two major concepts were born. The animation that was used on Bipolar, and Mark started exploring the concept of a mascot called TOMM3 T. Near the end of lockdown, Mark collaborated with one of his friends, Kardia Kritzinger, to create a physical jacket based on the illustrations he created. She did a phenomenal job, and the jacket took on the persona of TOMM3 T.
I'm Kardia Kritzinger, and how I came to be in the collaboration with the Thr3 Project is my best friend, who happens to be the band photographer and the bassist's girlfriend, approached me saying that Mark had an idea where he really wanted to do an art collaboration with different artists, and for his idea he really wanted to use a straitjacket, but you know, a straitjacket isn't exactly very easy to come by. And knowing that I had made a few shirts at some point in time in my life, they asked if I could perhaps, you know, design and make something for them. It took me quite a long time to find, you know, the proper design and inspiration and everything. I got a bit of ideas from Mark and Macaela, and then added some inspiration from, you know, video games and movies and things that I had watched when I was younger. And yeah, it was quite challenging creating the straitjacket because I had never done anything like that before, and it was quite outside of what I was used to doing. But in the end, it was something that I considered challenging but very fun as well. And I think if I were to describe the experience in one word, I would describe it as encouraging, because it brought me to a space where I really wanted to experiment with new techniques and things and the way that I do things, and after that I ended up making quite a few interesting things. So that was challenging but exciting and encouraging at the same time.
Mark also used this time to maintain and rebuild relationships with venues and event organizers. After 6 months, when Mark returned to the project, the hours invested in the artwork and animations paid off. The project had a healthy pipeline of shows lined up. The first show being a live stream from Rumours Lounge. The video and audio from that show were combined with some of the animation.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicolene Smuts, and I am a tribal rock fusion belly dancer. My love for rock and roll started at a very young age, mostly due to my mom. Only 80s and 90s old school rock was allowed in my household. My love for dancing started at about age 7, 8. After I saw the new Shakira's Whenever, Wherever music video on MTV, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to teach myself how to do that. And I've been training ever since. At the beginning of 2021, I started dancing for Cairo Moon Belly Dance Studio, where I met my wonderful teacher, Dr. Marina Basson. Dr. Marina Basson assisted me in perfecting all of my percussive movements, and she assisted me in combining these two huge loves of mine into one. So basically, the theme behind my belly dancing is I belly dance to old school rock, metal, basically anything that incorporates a guitar. So I met Mark about 5 years ago through one of our mutual friends, where after he introduced me to his band, Thr3 Proj3Ct. And all that I can say is, wow. Wow. You gotta hear the music to be able to understand what I'm talking about now. Thr3 Proj3Ct, their music is just absolutely breathtaking. Totally original, unique. It's the type of music that speaks to you. You can feel it. It's the type of music that you can feel within your soul. It's phenomenal. So after I've been training for a little while more, gaining some more experience with doing gigs at restaurants and birthday parties and so on, gaining a little bit more confidence as well, Mark asked me if I would be willing to join them at a gig that we had at the beginning of this year, where he wanted me to belly dance to one of their songs, which was a huge honor for me. So after a lot of training, after a lot of swearing as well, I compiled this beautiful choreography to go along with this exceptional song. And the whole experience was mind-blowing. Thr3 Proj3Ct is such a professional band, such a fan-orientated band, and the whole experience was just next level. I felt comfortable. The way we collaborated was it was amazing. And I think the way the audience experienced us as well was just one of a kind. Truly one of a kind. Thr3 Proj3Ct is most definitely one of the best bands that I have ever heard in my entire life. And the members are just truly unique, as is their music. Like I said, you've got to hear their music to be able to understand what I'm talking about. But all in all, exceptional experience, mind-blowing experience, and I really truly look forward to working with Thr3 Proj3Ct in future again.
Project! Rock on, boys!
Ubesk, the 3 Project.
Early teasers in the form of illustrations and animations were consistently placed on social media and successfully created a hype and anticipation for the release of the single, Multiverse. The art concept explored how a single entity as a juxtaposition could exist within multiple versions of itself. After continuously postponing the release date of Multiverse, the project received a devastating message from Dillon that he will be leaving the music scene. He further added that it genuinely brings him nothing but sadness and disappointment in people and that he is done kicking a dead horse. Both the remaining members expressed sadness to parting ways with Dillon but respected his decision. The recording was abandoned completely at this point and the remaining members had to go back to the drawing board to figure out the way forward. The project received an influx of drummers keen to join the project. Tristan temporarily returned to the project to help the band fulfill their commitments, but was unable to join permanently. After auditioning some amazing talent, the remaining 2 members had to make a very difficult decision. Stefan was chosen as their new drummer, impressively playing his first gig only 1 month after joining.
love the Three Project.
Trying not to actually say anything, but you'll hear him go, "Kan ek vir jou stoel?" Anyway, great gig, man. Fuck, I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I must be honest, I haven't enjoyed a gig so much for quite a while, hey? Yeah, thank you. You're doing really great stuff there. Yeah. Very cool.
A question why the band chooses not to have vocals get posed often. The truth is, the band has been collaborating with a wide range of different vocalists live on stage and in studio for quite some time. The audience attending the shows get a unique one-of-a-kind experience when a guest vocalist takes the stage and pushes the band even further beyond their comfort zone. Although the original songs get released as instrumental tracks telling the story through the instruments alone, multiple tracks were released with guest vocals as well.
You were prepared to let me down. You were prepared to let me drown. But I will lose this fight. You pulled me close, you held my hand. You thought that I'd meet your demands. But I will lose this fight. 'Cause I
Be kind to animals.
Be kind to
Be
animals.
kind to animals.
Hey there everybody, my name is Viedge, also known as the Wolfpack and the Diamond Dragon. I've been seen on stage around Joburg and the whole triangle, doing my thing, doing some tattoos here, throwing a gig over there, and one of my favorite people to work with was Thr3 Proj3Ct. Brilliant, they've got everything from art to good music, just the taste alone is awesome. Had some crazy times, and there's been speak of us actually doing a live tattoo on stage whilst they jam. Believe that. It's out.
bloodstained pages. I'm writing this letter, a letter to say farewell. I hoped life would get better, but it became a living hell. You never listened. You thought I was lying. Ignored my cheeks when they glistened, deaf to my suffered cries. Fighting life, body sprawled, on bloodstained pages words are scrawled. I am trapped in life's cages, preparing to breathe my last, counting seconds so I can act. Maybe I will finally escape my past when I take on this deadly pact. I am now just a verse in a dead song, dealing with it the only way I know how. Now you see, you were wrong. Will you listen now?
Means that